Perseverance, and we had our very first post-landing science discussion. And this felt like such a big moment for us. We've been meeting together as a science team for years and dreaming about our post-landing activities. And here we were on the on the surface with the rover, having our first discussion about science on the surface of Mars with real images. And so it was a great feeling, and we are going to continue that for many days to come.
Okay, we're going to go a bit into lightning round now because we only have about 5 minutes left. We do have to end this briefing right at 11. So we're going to take a few questions here, and if we don't get to your question, please call the Media Relations Office at JPL, and we'll ask if you guys can stay after a little bit, and we'll do those questions by phone. But next up, we'll go to Amina Khan with the LA Times.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. Katie, on that point, it would be great to be a virtual fly on the wall in these science discussions. And I know there's so many different scientists, hundreds with different goals and different favorite targets. What are some of the, I guess I would call them friendly arguments happening among science team members about which target they should go to first and why? What are some of the compelling and competing arguments they're making for their targets of choice?
Yes, well, we've only just started this process, and really, we got these first images done last night, and so the discussions are just beginning. And this is a period of time which is really great because I think the scientists feel very free to share their first thoughts and interpretations. And so, people throw out some wild guesses, and that is great, and that's exactly what we need to be doing as we're trying to figure out what it is we're looking at. And what the science team will transition while the rover is updating its flight software, which Pauline was mentioning. The science team is going to have a special meeting to talk about some of these things for the first time and say, okay, where is our next location that we want to drive to when the rover is checked out? And what is that location where we want to dig in and really use the rover's instruments? And so the science team is about to engage in that conversation. And we haven't had it yet, but we'll have it in the next couple of days with the idea that in about a week or so, we'll have consensus on where we want the rover to drive and what direction we want it to drive in. And so, of course, everyone, as you say, everyone has their own opinions and own perspectives, and it's really great to get those out into the forum of the science team. But many of us have done this before, and somehow we're able to get a 450 person science team in the same direction. And so that's one of our tasks that we have in the coming week.
Are there any examples of prime targets that, I know it's still early, but are there anything that have struck your fancy?
Well, yes. So as I mentioned, we landed right next to this very important geologic contact. And so I think one of the first decisions that the science team is going to have to make is where along this contact do we think we'll have the best exposure of rocks to make our first really detailed investigations. And so we'll be looking closely at the orbiter images and the images we have on the ground to try to identify that location along this contact.
Thank you so much.
All right, I want to thank everyone who came here today to give us taking the time away. And I know some of you on Mars time and crazy schedules. Thank you for being with us. We do need to wrap right now. If we didn't get to your question, we apologize, but please do call our office and we will get you set up to do a phone interview. Want to remind everybody that we'll be back on Monday, February 22nd, with another news conference that will take place at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And between now and then, you can always follow the mission by going to, put up the, there we go, go.nasa.gov/Mars 2020 toolkit. On that site, you will find all the latest news about the mission. You'll also find loads of fun features there, including a Mars photo booth and also a way to send your name to Mars on our next mission. Thank you so much for joining us today, and everyone have a great day on Mars.